The last voice message. I moved into this old communal apartment 2 days ago. The flat was on the third floor of a crumbling late 19th century building. Peeling plaster on the walls, creaking floorboards, narrow hallways where you'd sometimes swear you could hear someone's faint footsteps. The landlord, a gray-haired man in his 70s, smiled at me in the corridor, patted my shoulder, and said, "It's cheap here, but a good area. The previous tenant left in a hurry, so there's still a lot of furniture and stuff." I thought, screw the furniture, I just need a roof over my head. I placed a couple of boxes in the corner of the living room, reached for the hallway light switch, and nothing happened. I checked the fuse box with a flashlight, all the fuses looked fine. Went down to the basement to reconnect a few wires, eventually got it working. It felt like the building tolerated my presence, but definitely didn't welcome it. For 2 days, I just unpacked and stayed up late on my laptop. I'd hear rustling in the walls now and then, like someone quietly pacing in the adjacent rooms. But there seemed to be no neighbors, and the area near the front doors was dead silent. Day 1. Late in the evening, exhausted after work, I collapsed into bed and instantly fell asleep. I woke up with a strange feeling, like someone was watching me. I lifted my head. There was a silhouette in the hallway doorway. I kicked off the blanket, a freezing chill ran down my spine. But in that very moment, the figure melted into the dark corner. I used to think creepy dreams only happened in old horror movies. Apparently, I was wrong. Here, dreams and reality blended. Day 2. In the morning, on the kitchen table among the cups and plates, I saw an old Android phone. Black, no case. Probably left by the previous tenant. Its screen glowed faintly, a soft blue light. No one was around, yet the phone stood there like someone had just placed it down. I rubbed my eyes, but it didn't disappear. I picked it up. It was unlocked. No apps, no folders, just the phone icon and a voice messages section showing one message. My curiosity spiked, tension like a glove gripping me. I thought it might be someone's prank. But the play button at the bottom was glowing. Screw it, I thought. Could use a little distraction. The voice message. A whisper emerged from the speaker, muffled and slow at first, then quickening. "You won't be able to leave. Every night, it watches. Don't look in the mirror after midnight. That's how it gets in." A pause, unnatural. "If you're hearing this, it's already behind you." I recoiled as if touched by an icy hand and dropped the phone. I curled up in the corner of the kitchen, my heart pounding like a drum in hell. Then I laughed, nervously. The laughter turned into coughing. "Idiot, it's just a recording, right?" I tried to convince myself. But the cold shiver wouldn't go away. The phone lay at my feet. I picked it up and turned it off. Thought, okay, maybe someone tampered with the audio. Damaged speaker, distorted sound. I shoved it in a drawer and forgot about it. Night 3, around midnight. I was nearly asleep when I heard a faint bubbling noise, like an old radio catching static. But I had no radio. No TV. Then came a digital click, and again, the same recording, louder, clearer. Terror shook me. I grabbed the phone and hurled it across the room. It hit the wall, screen crackling, then dropped to the floor. That's the end of it, I thought. But it was like sinking into water. Everything froze. And then, on the opposite wall, where the wardrobe used to stand, appeared a mirror-like silhouette. A mirror. But I knew I didn't have a mirror in the room. The landlord had taken all the old frames to the dump 6 months ago. Yet here it was, the splash of cold reflection, as if someone had secretly brought it in and placed it there. I stared, unable to look away. The mirror was cracked, antique, the silver backing faded to near nothing. A frame of black wood, etched with thin, twisted patterns. The surface looked like dust and ash had fused into a cloudy film, obscuring the face within. I stepped forward. In the reflection, not me. Or rather, something like me. Same shape, same size, but it was smiling. I wasn't. Its teeth were long, sharp, its eyes, two black voids. and it tilted its head to the left, unnaturally, like a creature observing me. I stumbled back, curled up, and fell onto the bed. My heart thudded, cold sweat crawling down my spine. In the morning, I couldn't explain or even recall clearly if it was real or a nightmare. Downstairs in the hallway, I found shattered glass, fragments from a broken frame. I crept closer. No, just pieces from a decorative kitchen picture frame. No trace of a mirror. I thought I was losing my mind. But I still pulled open the drawer. Somehow, the phone had survived the throw. I turned it on. The speaker was dead. The screen black. Not even a charging icon. Seemed like the end, but something inside screamed, "Don't let it go." Evening, day 4, I decided to investigate. I went to the local library to find records about the buildings on this street. Turns out, the house was built on the site of an old mental hospital. In the 1920s, patients were treated in ways that often left them dead. A horrifying history. Staff locked people in windowless rooms, deprived them of food and water. Then set fire to floors to hide the evidence. Neighbors spoke of strange screams and wails echoing from the basements. I learned that one wing housed the especially dangerous, those who claimed to see things beyond. They'd speak to empty air, and then vanish without a trace. My eyes burned as I read. They kept a mirror in that wing, to record manifestations of the mad. Night 4. Back home, I found a crumpled scrap of paper on the floor, a torn page from someone's notebook. Just a few words. "Don't look. It sees you through the prism of reflection." And a signature. A.S. The hallway bulb had burst, the instant I touched the switch. Darkness thickened like it was alive. I fumbled for the phone and turned on the flashlight, but it only lit up fragments, an empty wardrobe, a drawer, the closed bathroom door. Then the flashlight fell, my trembling fingers dropped it. Black panic swallowed me. And there it was. In the flickering light, a reflection appeared on the wall. I knew there was no mirror, but the image was there. I saw myself, pale face, sweat frozen on my brow, eyes wide, and it stood behind me, nearly touching my shoulder. I straightened and turned. No one. The air hung heavy. Then came a faint scraping sound, like metal grating against shards. I looked back at the wall, and the silhouette was there, darker than the dark, like a paradoxical shadow. It raised one hand, the palm open toward me. And then, I ran. A frantic escape. I bolted for the door, but it was jammed. I knocked over a stool, pushed, growled, pounded with fists, the handle wouldn't budge. The hallway twisted like a maze, directions shifting. A left turn became a dead end, then a three-way fork, and everywhere was endless darkness. A beep, the phone in my pocket. A cursed notification. A new voice message. I grabbed it, collapsed onto the cold floor, and pressed P. He tapped play. The sound shot down his spine like a nail. A rasping voice, like metal scraping metal, whispered slowly, each word sucking more air from the room. "You heard it, which means you opened the door. There is no way out. You've become the reflection. Now you are the next voice." The recording ended. The phone went dark, as if it had never existed. Darkness collapsed around him like a wall. He couldn't tell floor from ceiling. Everything melted into a faceless black nightmare. But that wasn't the worst part. He heard himself. His own voice, like a recording. Only he hadn't spoken. From somewhere in the corner, maybe another room, his voice echoed. "You can't leave." It was his voice. The one he didn't record. Didn't say. Didn't remember. It spoke again. And again. He no longer knows who he is. Where he is. And whose voice you're listening to right now.